everybody, it's Mariana with Three Peaks Classroom. I am super excited today. I am going on site to film a Daily 5 video for the younger grades. I have my friend Erika, who I've taught with for many years. She is an expert in all things grades 1 and 2, and she has agreed to open up her classroom doors for me on this beautiful June Saturday. God bless you, Erika, for coming in on a Saturday in June. But thank you so much, and yeah, let's get started. Hi, everybody. So here's my friend Erika, and I'm in her classroom right now, and she's going to show me around her classroom, quick little tour, and then we're going to sit down and talk about Daily 5. So we're going to start right at the doorway.
Okay,
Take it
so,
away.
Of course, there's the doorway.
Yeah.
And as you move closer towards the smartboard, we have our Pat's Kid wall. This is where we kind of honor our student of the week and we give them compliments. We also have our steam bins or STEM bins underneath right there. As you move along, you know, just the good old smartboard with something that I use for Daily 5 that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, sounds good.
A visual schedule, which is always helpful.
Did you guys do that yesterday?
No, this is for Monday.
Oh, for Monday. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I am ready for Monday.
You are ready. I love it.
The date even is changed for Monday.
Yay.
I always make sure I do that just in case, you know, you sleep through your alarm.
Oh
by
gosh.
accident.
Yes.
Our religion corner right here that we have, and then kind of our Daily 5 section of supplies and what's the word I'm looking for?
Like materials?
Utensils.
Materials. Utensils and materials, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just kind of anchor charts and things that we utilize throughout the year. So our number line. And then I guess the rest is just mostly storage. I keep our workbooks and journals in little baskets right here. Our word wall is kind of slowly decreasing.
Yeah, coming down.
As we come down to the last few weeks of school. I keep all my do-it-tangs in bins as well. And then every kid has their magazine holder here where they get to keep their calendar book, their writing journal, and just any extra things. My kids are obsessed with drawing right now. So if they draw a picture, they put it in here.
They have a spot for it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
So it can either go home or it can stay there. My books as usual, and then my lovely EA's table as well as my desk. So that's there. And then I guess if we come over here, I have my class job section over right there.
What kind of jobs do you have for grade 1?
Oh yeah, so we do electrician, caboose, board cleaner, messenger, door holder, librarian, and scrap monster. Our Pat's Kid of the Week is our line leader, so we don't have that here. You could if you don't do something
I do the same thing.
But sometimes I forget to change them, and my students will remind me, and then they go ahead and just change it themselves. Yeah. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, we have our rules here that we came up with together, and then the kids had to sign it at the bottom as their
I love the rainbow
promise.
too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I guess right over here, this is kind of one of my favorite areas. So we have our birthdays, and I get the kids at the beginning of the year, they have to hold their number of the day, and
that's great.
You know, they get to see themselves. But this is called our Zen Zone. So this is just kind of our area where kids can self-regulate and calm down if they need to. We talk about our feelings a lot with our PATS program.
Yeah,
our turtle breathing, our feelings posters, big versus small problem, which we get brought up a lot, and some fidgets and such that they can hold or use. We have like a Hoberman sphere that they can use for breathing. And
this is fantastic.
Some fidgets. And
do you have kids coming here like
daily?
Daily, yeah. Exactly.
Daily, and it's not just our maybe typical kids that you would think would go there. It's anybody, and sometimes it's even just to like close their eyes and take a bit of a nap, or
it's nice to have that space. Yeah,
just a little cozy corner. And I know our kindergarten teacher and the teacher across the hall is trying to put one in place too, so it's very beneficial for sure.
Okay. All right. So so I've taught with you. So you were saying that you taught for like 6 years?
Yes.
So this is your 6th year going into 7th.
Correct.
Awesome. And you've taught grades 1 and 2.
1 and 2 and 1, 2 combined, as well and online.
You just finished your master's.
I did,
which is
yeah.
like so exciting.
Yeah.
You finished it in?
So I convocated last June, and I finished with my master's in elementary education with a focus in language and literacy.
And that's why you are here and we're talking about Daily 5. Awesome. Okay, so I actually looked back at my video for Daily 5. So if you are interested in looking, or if you're interested in learning about how I do Daily 5 in my grade 4 classroom, I will link the video below. But today we're going to talk about how you do it in grades 1 and 2. I remember talking to one of our former colleagues about when she started, and she said she doesn't even touch Daily 5 rotations until like January.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, how do you begin the year? When can somebody expect to even begin doing like a rotation?
You know, I think it's about knowing your students too. You know, with COVID, these kids in particular were not ready for it.
No.
I don't think I actually had it fully going until close to March, because of how much work and effort it took into preparing them for it. In the past, I've had groups that were ready by October, November.
Okay.
But I think the January mark is pretty safe to say they do need some time to just get adjusted. And
we're talking like grade 1, like they're young, right? So you really have to make sure that you've established those expectations. And just knowing, you know, sort of how things run when I'm not able to be there because I'm working with other students. For sure. That's like I talked about in my video as well, like the first 3 or 4 weeks in September, we don't even do a rotation. We just talk about, okay, what does a reading to yourself look like? If a principal was to walk in, or a parent, what should they expect to see if we were all reading to ourselves? So yeah, for sure, expectations. Okay, so then starting in September, how do you kind of begin preparing your students for Daily 5?
I guess in September, a lot of it is done whole group.
Okay.
We do a lot of phonics activities together. We do a letter a day. Well, I shouldn't even say a letter, more a letter and sound a day. And then we work on, you know, whole group reading. There are times where in like an unstructured setting where they're finished their work early, I'll say like go read with a partner.
So when you say to everybody, go read a book, they can just grab any book, look at the pictures, flip through, make up their own story.
Yeah, and right from the start, we talk about 3 different ways to read a book. And I think it's really important that kids understand that in order to be a reader, you don't just have to read the words. Reading can start anywhere, right? So as long as they are opening up a book and are flipping through the pages.
In the act of reading.
Exactly. And a lot of the times especially, and most teachers do this in the beginning, we often read tons of books that have to do with building community and, you know, what happens if everyone did that and expectations and such. So those books that I read, I put them right on my bookshelf and they have access to it. And because I've read them out loud, they can kind of follow along with the picture.
Okay, so that's reading. What about like word work or writing? How do you prepare kids for that?
So in terms of word work, a lot of the time we focus again on the phonics piece. So we do little phonics activities as a whole group, and then I will add those into my eventual word work rotation.
So they'll have already been familiar with it.
Yes, for the most part.
And writing?
Writing, in grade 1, for myself, at least from my own experience, when it comes to grade 1, writing is done whole group. It probably took until about last month for me to say like, okay, I am letting you do this completely independently, where they had the skills for success.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because you don't ever want to just like send them out and then have them fail at it.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
You want to be able to make sure that they can do it successfully. So, yeah, and again, we're talking COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are COVID kids, so they're going to need a little bit more support.
And you'll actually notice in my rotation, I don't have a writing station.
Oh,
so I do call it Daily 5, but we don't have that writing piece. And, you know, again, it depends on your group. Some groups can handle.
I'm excited to see what you have for Daily 5. Okay, so then what does a typical, so let's say you've gone through all of the lessons, what does a typical Daily 5 rotation look like? So you said that you started in March this year?
Yes.
Okay, so talk about like after you've done it for a few weeks, what does that look like?
So we go through extensively the expectations, and I have them underneath my board. They're available for the students to look at, and I always reference them. It's honestly one of my favorite lessons to do, because we act out what like good read to self looks like and what not so good read to self looks like, and sometimes I'll take pictures of them and they get a whole hoot and they laugh about it. So but it's effective because then they know what to expect.
Of course, yeah.
And I emphasize, when you're doing this, I'm working with students.
That's good.
I also have a little fun Bitmoji presentation that I do where it says like the only reason why you can interrupt me.
Yeah, okay.
And some are like very like, you know, obvious, getting hurt, there's
Bleeding.
a fire, right, you're sick.
Yeah.
Others, you know, a celebrity walks in, you
of
have
course.
coffee. Again, very over the top, but they get the point.
Yeah.
Do not interrupt me. And it's really funny when I'm doing guided reading, some kids will come up to me and then they will instantly turn back around because they know they're not supposed
You're
to.
like, I taught you well.
Yes. But I guess when it comes to starting off, so on my smartboard, I put the rotation and I give them choice. I'm really big on choice. The only students who really can't choose are the ones that are working with me. So how I start is I put my first group and my second group, and I always try to see 2 groups. If they are there, then they know that they can only pick their activity for the second or the first round, depending on when I see them.
The remainder,
The other kids, however, they get to choose whichever station they want to go to. They know they have to pick 2.
That's huge. And you feel like they are autonomous in that? Like,
I do.
They don't break the rules?
No, and you know, everyone loves listening to reading because they get to use the iPads.
Of course.
It's a big novelty for them and they enjoy it. In the past,
Do they all have their own iPads here?
No, we are not one-to-one, which is a little bit frustrating at times. Mostly,
but that's good in turn taking.
It is.
Right? Because then everybody would flock to listen to reading.
It is.
So.
And we also don't have enough charging cords, so sometimes they're dead.
Okay.
Which is fine. I just tell them they have to choose another station. But in the past, I have had to limit how many kids are per station, especially if you have a bigger class size. I don't have a very big class, so if there's 7 of them who choose listening to reading, I'm okay with that. But typically, if you have a bigger group, I would stick with maybe about 5 per station.
And where do they listen? Just at their desks, anywhere they want?
They know that they're responsible to find a spot, and they have to stay in that spot. I do open up the hallway too if they want to go. A lot of them like going sometimes in between doors or under their coat hook, and they just feel more comfortable, and I'm okay with that.
And it's darker too, right? Sometimes to see the screen. So
exactly.
Okay, so listen to reading. Read to self. Is there a read to self?
Read to self. Read to self is there.
Do you do word work with your students, or is it like a game that they do on their own?
No, word work is for them to do with a partner or on their own. I've learned, you know, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. So if I'm ever at like even Home Sense or Marshalls, they have a really good children's section.
Really?
Yeah. So some of my literacy games, believe it or not, are from there, and they're maybe like $7-8. And I just add them, and the kids, they figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. And then so you are working with the kids, like I'm assuming you're doing guided reading of some kind. Okay. Awesome. So what do we say? Listen to reading, word work,
read to self.
Read to self.
Read to someone.
Oh, read to somebody.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So,
so that's
they get
the
to pick
next
whoever
one.
they want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they get
Whoever's
to pick
available,
whoever they
I guess.
want.
Yeah.
Usually they go for their friend, and we talk about, you know, obviously the expectations, but we use the whole eek. I'm sure you've heard that, elbow to elbow, knee to knee.
Yeah.
So, and they get to choose any book they want. It could be from their home reading, it could be from my bookshelf, whatever
we do the
they
same
like.
thing.
Yeah.
When I want to read with somebody, then I want the kids to be enjoying that active reading with a friend, and so you can pick any book that you want. So then how long are your daily 5 rounds, I guess?
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Always.
So I do 2 15-minute sessions. In the mornings, you know, it depends how slow we are at coming in or how quickly we are. Some days we have music first block, or we have music at 9 o'clock. So our bell rings at 8:22-ish.
Okay.
So by the time they come in, It all depends, but
Okay.
I'd like to get them started doing 2 15-minute.
So you do it right
rounds.
away, first thing.
Yeah.
So as soon as they come in, do they just come in and like see where their name is, or they pick?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
they see daily 5 on our schedule. They take a look. Then this is available on my smart board the minute they get in.
Okay.
You know, we're at the point now where they just come in and get started. When
Love
we
that.
were first kind of putting it into place, they had to all sit down, and then I had to tell them one by one to come up.
Okay, so I did put a question box on Instagram, and I asked you guys to send me some questions if you have any about daily 5 in grades 1 and 2. So a question I got was, how do you manage behaviors while you are in small group and there's maybe behaviors going on?
Right. So that interruption slide that
Yes.
I come up, well, I did not come up with it myself. I've seen it before, but that is really helpful. I have a lovely EA who is able to circulate, and again, I have a small group, so if I had a bigger class, she might be running a group as well, but because I have a smaller group, she can go around, she can pop into the hallway and see if kids are on task.
Does she need to like dispel lots of fires, or is your class pretty well managed?
You know, I find that my kids who have behaviors quite enjoy daily 5. It's something that they look forward to.
Nice. That's good.
And if I know that somebody's maybe starting off not so great, I might switch up my groups and have them work with me in the beginning so that they get that one-on-one time, because I think a lot of the behaviors come from maybe lack of attention, or they just need that connection.
For sure.
There
First thing in the morning.
Exactly. There can be issues with the iPads again because if they're dead, or so this is where maybe limiting the amount of students in a rotation comes in play and can be beneficial. You know, sometimes you just have to ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I've always said when it comes to daily 5 and guided reading, I'm more concerned about what's happening with the kids that are with me.
Yeah. You have very limited time.
Exactly. Yeah. And the kids that are doing their rounds, I just expect them to be doing something.
Of course, yeah. And you've drilled into them from September until March, right? These are the expectations, right? And it's not like you just like let them go. Like you've practiced. And I don't know about you, but I have stopped daily 5 rotations because of kids misbehaving, or I've stopped a round because, you know, they weren't treating the materials properly or whatever. So yeah, you build that up. So. Yeah. Another question that I got from Instagram was the materials that you use. So you showed me briefly. Is there something like a favorite program that you use, or a notebook? Do you guys use Raz Kids for listen to reading?
Yeah, so we can talk about listening to reading first. So Raz Kids is great. Yeah. We do that. We also use Epic. Yeah. Epic is a lovely one. I actually think my students prefer Epic over Raz Kids, and it's free if it's during the school day. Yeah. They're very motivated by earning rewards too. So that's a good start. Yeah. For word work, like I mentioned before, I get a lot of my games just from being out and about. Yeah, for sure.
So let's see some of the games.
Okay, so these 3 right here are the ones that I found.
Yeah.
They are a fan favorite.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I've actually even incorporated these to some of my guided reading groups. So we will just play these, and then that way they also learn how to play it and they can teach others.
Oh, I love that.
Thanks to the dollar store for a lot of other resources. So believe it or not, these are from the dollar store, just little flashcards. Yeah. We have stencils. The kids like to use stencils.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because they're learning to print.
Yeah. We have word family rings where they can use whiteboard markers, stamps. Oh, there's some puzzle pieces they put in here.
It's June. Stamps. We'll give them that.
Exactly. Again, those are all from the dollar store. Magnetic letters are a big hit too, that they just use on the whiteboard right there. Perfect. And a lot of them actually will like work with these words.
Yeah, I love that. So they'll try and create those words.
Yeah, they'll recreate these words. They will recreate words from the word wall. I don't have a spelling program in grade 1.
Okay.
When I taught grade 2, I did, so then they would use their spelling words. But as of right now, it's more about getting the practice to understand where they can find words in the room to help their writing.
Yeah, environmental print.
Yeah.
For sure.
We use pipe cleaners with little beads, again, all from the dollar store, so they can make words with these. In the beginning, a lot of the times they just spell their name, which is fine.
That's huge.
Dollar store again, some
Yes.
little wooden letters.
Do they have the letters on them already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you just pop them out, and so I bought 2 different kinds, stars and hearts.
That's fantastic. So when you do word work, do they do the games all together? Like, does everybody have to do like the ABC puzzle, or everybody picks kind of whatever game they want?
Yeah, so if you walked into my room during Daily 5, you would typically see, some are more preferred than others. So these 3, you'll see kids playing on the big carpet or in the hallway. They like the pipe cleaners. The pipe cleaners have been well used.
Yeah, it's great though.
I also actually got these from the dollar store.
I have those. Yeah, those are great.
So yeah, I mean, they use these. I also use these when I'm in my small group.
Yep.
With my non-readers, a lot of the times we look for the letters and then we think of words or that start with that sound.
I love that.
Same thing with the magnetic letters too. Those are usually a big hit because then they get to spell stuff on the board.
So they have the choice of playing with a friend or playing on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. A few more questions. So you've done split grades before, grade 1 and 2. What does that look like? Does it look any different? No?
No, the only thing that's different, honestly, are just my small groups. I had some grade 1s that were able to work with grade 2s and some grade 2s that needed to work with grade 1s.
Okay, perfect. So it's nothing grade specific, it's just ability specific, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and this one's huge because I've never taught grade 1 before. So what are some tips or things that you've learned over your 6 years and in your master's that you think you can impart some wisdom to anybody that's just starting out doing Daily 5 in like grades 1 or 2?
I think the biggest thing is don't be scared. I think when some new teachers hear Daily 5 guided reading, it's quite daunting.
I agree.
Yeah, utilize what your school has, and you know, if you need to buy stuff, that's totally fine. Don't feel like you need to spend lots of money creating these Daily 5 stations.
Well, yeah, you went to Dollarama or Dollar Store.
Exactly.
That's
like
awesome.
you can see, it's very high impact, low effort or low cost.
Yes, exactly.
Because they're still getting what they need without me having to create or buy really expensive things.
Yeah.
A lot of the times your school will have these resources too. You just have to ask the right person.
Yeah.
And if not, sometimes they'll buy it for you. I learned that the hard way, where sometimes people will just come to you and say, why didn't you tell me? I could have bought that for you. Yeah, and I know that's not the case for everybody, but it doesn't hurt. I mean, the worst thing they can say is no. But other than that, I think don't be scared. Just try it. If you feel like it's the right time, do it. If it doesn't work out, then you can revisit it in a couple of months. That's how I had to do it this year.
Oh, for sure.
And it's okay.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks everybody for watching, and for Erika for opening up her classroom in June. You guys, it's so sunny outside. I can't even believe it. I'm so grateful to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, you can link them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.